What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. So now that the Horizon Lunar Colony map has been live for a little while now, it's time for me to give my post-play thoughts on how good it is in terms of both gameplay and aesthetic. This video will be divided into 3 parts, the first 2 being about each of the 2 capture points on the map, and the third being about the visual looks and feel of it. So first up, let's discuss the first capture point. This part of the map is definitely the part which I am currently most conflicted about. While the first point of other assault maps generally feature one prominent choke point, with only 1 or 2 side flanking routes to bypass it, Horizon's first point is much more open, with multiple possible angles of attack for the attackers. Because of this, it feels like there is no efficient way for the attackers to make a team push. And instead, it's kind of just a frenzied free-for-all as people pick and choose their own routes to take. I feel like this point here is likely supposed to serve as the choke, but I rarely see it being used as such. Mainly, people either try to defend from the surrounding high ground, or from the point itself, given that it overlooks much of the more open space leading up to it. I think one of the main reasons that people hold here instead of farther up is that it's not as quick to fall back to the point on Horizon as it is with other maps. A flanker who successfully makes their way behind the defenders can usually hold the point for a good bit before anyone can make it back or even find an angle to fire at them on point. Now, I will admit, I'm not playing at a very high level, so I'm sure the pros will soon figure out the meta way to attack and defend, and part of the chaos is also likely due to the result of everyone still being fairly inexperienced with playing it. But mostly I blame the map and its uniquely open design. I will say though that this unconventional attack style doesn't feel like necessarily a bad thing to me. I actually quite enjoy the hectic skirmishes that seem to regularly happen at this part of the map. Maybe it's just because I don't find that while playing the game anymore, and it's reminiscent of back when everyone was new to the game and hadn't figured out the best ways to attack and defend on any maps yet. I'm really curious to see how people's strategies at this part change in the coming months from now. I think people will likely find a more orderly way to fight here, but part of me wants the disorganization to remain as part of the map. And, of course, before I move on, I can't talk about the Horizon map without addressing the low gravity part. I gotta say, I actually like it quite a bit. I think mostly it's just the novelty of this section that I like, but I do think Blizzard made the mechanics of it work really well. I love how quiet it gets when you're outside. You feel so separated from the rest of the fight, and it's actually quite tranquil. The only part about it I don't like, to be honest, is how out of the way and unnecessary the low gravity area feels. It's basically only viable as a way to sneak closer to the point, but given the location of the airlocks, it feels too easy for the defenders to see when anyone is trying to use it. Battles rarely take place out here, and because of this, it almost feels like it might as well not even exist. I know Jeff talked about how much they played around with the low gravity, and I think they made the right choice by not forcing it to be a major aspect of the map. But, just like the jump pad on Oasis, it seems like they made the unique map feature just a little too optional, to the point that it's probably never going to get used during most matches. Anyways, moving on to the second point of Horizon, this is where things become much more familiar. People seem to be much better at picking up the proper attack and defense formations here, and I think I know why. This is basically the exact same layout as the second point of Hanamura. It's got a flat, open point contest area with a central piece of cover immediately behind it. From the defender's perspective, the left-hand side offers an elevated attack route for the attackers, with a small bit of cover harboring a small health pack just beneath it. The middle offers a large open doorway onto the point, which is pretty much only usable if you have a Reinhardt or Orisa to escort you in. And on the right-hand side, you get a separated flanking route that very few people ever actually use, along with a large health pack. Even though Hanamura is probably my least favorite map in Overwatch, I really like how they used its same layout for this point. It feels more compact than the second point of Hanamura, which I think is a good thing. It does have a couple issues though. For example, if the defenders hold at either of these two sides, they seem to have a very strong position, where they can quickly walk forward onto the point to contest. and also walk backwards into the spawn to heal. This spot back here feels like kind of an OP place for Symmetra's shield generator, as anyone who dives in to destroy it is a sitting duck for anyone coming out of spawn. And additionally, I see no reason that Junkrat's Riptire can't climb up this beam. I mean, come on, it's the perfect vertical pathway for it. Overall, I think the second point is more fun to both attack and defend than the first, but I think that's pretty common across all the Assault maps. Prior to its release, I was kind of hoping that the next Assault map would somehow have 3 capture points instead of just 2, but that was really just wishful thinking. I don't think this map really does anything to fix the long-standing issue people have with 2 capture point based map styles, but in the gameplay department, Horizon feels pretty good, and I could easily see it being my favorite Assault map for a while to come. Lastly, I still need to discuss the aesthetic of the Horizon Lunar Colony. Simply put, I love it. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi and space themes, so for me, this is about as cool as a map could get. Also, it has to be one of, if not the most, detailed map in the game. All the computers and screens and equipment make it feel and look so genuine and good. I love all the different rooms it has, from the massive telescope to the gymnasium to the hydroponics lab to even the hangar area. It all fits so well, and the view of the outside is stunning. Well, except when you're looking out the window in Winston's room. Seriously, does he know he spent most of his youth staring into a terrarium? Anyways, as I talked about in one of my videos a little while back, because of all the detail Blizzard put into this map, it was pretty confusing to figure out its layout at first. Even still, I'll get confused with remembering where all the little side rooms come in and out at, but that's something I'm sure I'll memorize over time. Additionally, there is tons of lore to pick up on here. Knowing Winston's backstory, it's so cool seeing the remnants of everything that happened here with our own eyes. Truly, this is one of the best story-based map locations we've seen so far. As good as the other 2 post-release maps have been, Horizon certainly seems to set a precedence for visual quality, and I really hope to see it perpetuated in future maps to come. Well, that's all I've got to say about it for now. Thanks for watching, and please comment below with your thoughts about the Horizon Lunar Colony. Do you like it or hate it? Also, don't forget to vote in today's poll card to compare your thoughts with the thoughts of others. And as always, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and click that bell icon to stay up to date with all my content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, keep reaching for the stars, and have a great day.